When it comes to how most people train for fighting in a more traditional type style, maybe it's a martial art that you're taking, maybe it is a self-defense class that you've taken that is derived from martial arts. Not to be a martial arts basher, but a lot of what you learn actually won't work in a real fight. Now, I love martial arts, I enjoy martial arts, I train in martial arts. However, some of the main principles that are taught to people really end up doing more damage when it comes to a real street fight. And one of the most powerful, or one of the worst problems is when it comes to how you deliver power into your attacker. If you're taking a martial art that's really point-based systems, if it's like a competitive sport, taekwondo or something like that, you're taught to basically tag your opponent. It's speed-based strikes rather than power-based. Because in a real tournament, you don't have to deliver power into the person, you just have to be able to touch them in the right spot at the right time. However, and how this is trained in a lot of schools is in snap-type speed motion. So in other words, your snap kick, what is it? It's your foot comes up, your leg stays parallel to the floor, and then you deliver the snap kick out and step back. So it's up, snap, and back. Up, snap, back. That snapping motion does make contact with the target. It would count as a point if you hit it. Same thing with the fist. If you've got you're doing a reverse punch, you're striking through, you're usually doing like double strikes. So it might be 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, but you're driving in and retracting back. Unfortunately, what this does is it programs your brain just to make contact, to be able to come back and be able to strike back again. In a real fight, you don't want to have to strike again. I want to be able to hit this guy one time and lay him out for good. So, how do you do that? How do you deliver more power into your strikes? Well, it's really a reverse engineering of what you actually do for speed striking. Okay, so what you do instead is, instead of focusing on the surface target, truly your point of aim is inside this person's body, or about 6 inches beyond the surface of the strike. So what I mean by that is, if this is the person's chest, and I'm going for a floating rib, one of the lower ribs in his body, I don't want to. If I were to punch it in some way, if I were to punch it, and it's a surface strike, that's an ouch. Okay, that hurts. Maybe it hurts the rib. If I aim 6 inches beyond the rib, what it does is this. If I do a surface strike, it diffuses that power over his skin, over the surface of his body. It takes all the power and drive that I put into that strike and sends it out. Okay? If I aim 6 inches beyond his body, what it does is it takes all that forward momentum and power and it focuses it down to the point of contact and beyond. So it takes all that power, focuses it down like a laser. And now when I hit his ribs, as I'm aiming 6 inches beyond, my force will drive straight back in and break that rib. Much, much more powerful. So it does deliver more pain because it's more focused. It creates more trauma to the body because it actually does more damage internally. It does more damage to where I'm striking. And so how do you accomplish this? You accomplish this by what we call stick striking. And stick striking is basically, instead of retracting your punches when you're training, you want to drive through. Okay, so if I am doing a reverse punch, which I hate punches, so I'm just doing this as an example. For those people that are punchers, instead of just a surface strike and pulling it back, you're going to punch and stick. Okay? Punch and stick. And as you stick it there, whether it's a punch like this or whether it is a palm heel, okay? I'm not delivering a lot of power into this right now. Palm heel, let it stick. Okay? And what you want to do is just even envision that as you strike something, that it's basically exploding, that your hand is going straight into his body. You want to add this mental visual target or movie that's playing here, that when I strike him, if I were to strike to the head, I take that head clean off. It just pops right off of his body like a Barbie doll, or a Ken doll in your situation. If I drive through a kick, so instead of a snap kick, I'm going to take it and drive through. Okay? Take it, drive through. And what you essentially want to do is keep that forward momentum going in that stick. So as I'm striking through, I'm driving my body through. Let it stick, let it go. This is going to reprogram your brain so that you can focus all that energy into one single spot and deliver a lot more trauma to that person that you're attacking.